Welcome to cell membrane airport. Just like airport security, the cell membrane is a barrier allowing certain particles into the cell. As you're made of trillions of cells, don't you want to know what's moving through different parts of your body? Particles cross the membrane using either passive or active transport. In passive transport, no energy needed. Particles flow from high to low concentration. It's diffusion.
A particle in a high concentration will hit others and bounce away from them until they're all evenly distributed, reaching equilibrium. So particles are pioneers. If they keep bumping into each other, they'll find a new place to settle.
However, the membrane won't let in every particle.
The membrane is primarily made of a bilayer of phospholipids, molecules with a phosphate-linked head, glycerol, and two fatty acid tails. The nonpolar or not charged tails attract other nonpolar molecules, so those will pass in easier. So if a particle is too polar or partially charged, the phospholipid guards will kick it out, too big and it can't fit through gaps in the chain of guards. Thus small and nonpolar molecules diffuse best. Large and nonpolar or small and polar molecules can also sneak through slowly. But large and polar molecules or ions, charged molecules, can't pass through on their own. Luckily for them, proteins embedded in the membrane can help.
So passive transport is when particles cross the membrane without using energy. Primary active transport uses chemical energy to move particles against their gradient, like from areas of low to high concentration, or a negatively charged ion to a negatively charged side of the membrane. The pioneers don't want to go there, but you push them there anyway.
This can be done with carrier proteins, which are embedded in the membrane and used for both passive and active transport. They grab a particle through one side, wrap around it, and force it to leave through the other side. For example, say a positive sodium ion wants to stay in the cell since there's a lower concentration of sodium there, and there's also a net negative charge inside. However, it's actively transported outside. It then rushes back into a carrier protein via passive transport. Similar to wind pushing a turbine, the movement of the sodium creates energy. The carrier protein uses this energy to actively transport another molecule, like glucose. This is secondary active transport. If the sodium and the glucose flowed the same way in the protein is a symporter, otherwise it's an antiporter.
Thus, the transport processes occurring in our cell membrane airport are genius and effective.